Welcome to today's Explainer. We are jumping right into something today that is, without a doubt, the absolute lifeblood of any successful enterprise. We're talking about the ultimate bridge between a business and its customers, strategic price planning. Now, a lot of the time when we think about price, we just picture a number on a tag, or maybe a cell on a spreadsheet, right? A quick transaction. Well, we need to flip that completely on its head today. We have to look at pricing not as an afterthought, but as a primary strategic engine. So let's dive into exactly how this specific framework drives both immediate attraction and long-term survival. Right off the bat, I want you to look at the emphasis on that word sustainable. It's absolutely crucial. Any approach to pricing that isn't built to last, that isn't sustainable over the long haul, is fundamentally flawed from day one. We are shifting our mindset away from temporary, flashy promotional thinking and grounding ourselves in enduring, foundational value. So that begs a massive question, doesn't it? What actually makes a price sustainable? Just take a second to reflect on this. Think about the profound difference between slashing prices to make a quick, one-off sale just to hit a monthly quota versus setting a pricing structure that allows a business to thrive, adapt, and keep serving customers year after year. A quick sale might rely on a massive discount, sure, but does that sustain the whole operation? Probably not. True sustainability is about building a pricing model with absolute longevity, rain or shine. All right, let's jump straight into section 1, the core of price planning. Here is a major paradigm shift for you. At its core, the text defines price planning as an essential element of reaching out to customers. Traditionally, pricing is treated as this back-end financial chore, right? Something the accounting department crunches out based on costs and margins behind closed doors. But this framework rips pricing right out of the back office and places it front and center. It explicitly defines it as an essential element of customer interaction. If you aren't factoring your customer into your price planning from the jump, you are missing the entire point. Let's unpack that specific phrase a little more, reaching out to customers. Think about it from the buyer's perspective. Before a customer ever reads your marketing copy, before they ever speak to a sales rep, the price tag is very often the absolute first piece of information they interact with. It's a direct communication tool. Your price speaks to your audience. It tells them who the product is for, what kind of quality they can expect, and honestly, how much you value your own offering. By framing price planning as a method of reaching out, we're forced to treat pricing with the exact same care and psychological insight that we apply to our biggest marketing campaigns. Moving right along to section 2, attracting the customer. Okay, this right here, this is the central tension of the entire framework. It's literally a tightrope walk. On one side, you have the external goal, start the right pricing to grab the customer's attention. On the flip side, we have the internal goal, stay sustainable to keep the business viable. If you lean way too far toward attracting the customer with rock-bottom prices, well, you compromise your sustainability and go out of business. But if you lean too far into protecting your margins to stay sustainable, you might fail to attract any customers at all. Mastering this balancing act is exactly what separates thriving businesses from failing ones. So, how do we begin that balancing act? Well, the source says you must set the right price that attracts the customers. Notice it doesn't say set the lowest price or set the cheapest price. It explicitly says the right price, and the right price is highly contextual. For a luxury brand, the right price to attract their specific customer is actually a very high one because it signals exclusivity. For a daily commodity, it might be a lower, high-volume price. The big takeaway here is that right is defined entirely by its magnetic ability to pull in your specific intended customer base. Which brings us to section 3, the participant's journey. The text lays out this really clear step-by-step progression. First, participants learn to set that right price we just talked about. Second, they use that price to actively attract customers. But the journey doesn't stop once the customer walks through the door. Step 3, which is arguably the toughest part, is to identify the strengths and weaknesses of what just happened. It's this continuous feedback loop. You try a price, you observe the attraction, and then you immediately pivot into deep analysis of how well that pricing maneuver actually worked. And that analysis feeds directly into section 4, evaluating different price strategies. Take a close look at the word various here, exploring various price strategies. That word is doing a ton of heavy lifting. It means there's absolutely no single magic bullet for pricing. What crushes it today might feel completely tomorrow. What works for product A might be a disaster for product B. By insisting on the exploration of various strategies, it shows us that adaptability and having a really wide toolkit are completely essential for long-term survival in any market. So when you're looking at all those various strategies, you've got to put them under a microscope. You have to aggressively pit their strengths against their weaknesses. Every single pricing model, whether we're talking penetration pricing, value-based pricing, premium pricing, carries inherent risks and rewards. Objectively evaluating the strong points that bring revenue in against the weak points that might alienate customers is the key to mastering this whole process. Blind faith in just one strategy? That's dangerous. Rigorous, balanced evaluation is the only way forward. The source sums it up perfectly with this quote: "You must constantly identify the strengths and weaknesses of various price strategies." This is a continuous, never-ending learning process. You don't just do price planning once, check the box, and forget about it. You are constantly measuring the pros against the cons. It is an active, dynamic discipline required for any business that genuinely wants to claim the title of being sustainable. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a question to chew on. Looking at whatever business, project, or service you're involved in right now, is your current pricing strategy built merely to attract a quick crowd in the short term, or is it truly built to sustain you in the long term? Remember the dual mandate we've uncovered today. You have to reach out and pull the customer in, but you absolutely must do it in a way that ensures you'll still be standing there tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep evaluating those strategies, and I'll catch you next time.